Screen Time Allowance. This is our show where we talk about the games and the movies and the shows we watch and play. I'm Jonathan. This is...
Zack.
Boom, Zack. So what did we watch? We just finished watching this. What did we just finish watching?
Evil Dead 2.
We just watched Evil Dead 2 from 1987. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so Evil Dead 2. It's a very kind of silly movie. We didn't watch the first one. I didn't show him the first one. That one's a little intense. But the second one lightened things up and kind of directed by Sam Raimi, right? You don't know who Sam Raimi is. He's done a lot since then.
Like that spider?
Yeah, ooh. I'll eat it later. Don't worry about it. But this kind of started veering him on the track that most people would know him for, like his style. Kind of cinched in his visual style. And this one took a bunch of the horror elements from their low-budget first Evil Dead and really kind of put some funniness into it, right? So what'd you think about this movie? Tell me what you thought about it.
Well, I thought it was really silly, but at the same time, it was really a horror movie.
Yeah, so it did have some jump scares in it, though, didn't it?
What?
What in the world?
Ah!
This is some Evil Dead stuff right here. Alright. Alright, so this movie is about Ash Williams, played by Bruce Campbell, right? Taking his girlfriend, Linda, up to a cabin, right? So, like I told you before, there were some rights issues. They couldn't use footage from the first movie. So they kind of did a retelling of the first movie with just them two in the first 15 minutes of this movie, right? So they get you up to speed on what's going on with the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon, and you can't read from it, and you're summoning demons.
And what I asked for Dad, I was like, did they find a book in the first one?
Yeah, they went to the cabin. It was just sitting there. We didn't get the cool flashbacks from them finding it in the castle and all that stuff. So they're up there. They're having a good time in this abandoned cabin. And what does Ash do? He's like, hey, I found a recorder. So what do?
They play it.
To give you the idea of like how kind of silly this whole thing is, they turned on this recorder and it's this Professor Noby guy. And he's like, I found the Book of the Dead. In it, I read, it said that the incantations are going to summon demons. And the very next thing he says, here are the phonetic pronunciations of said passages that wake up demons. And starts reading it like a bonehead, right? So what happens?
A bonehead always reads books.
Yeah. So what happens after they play the tape and the incantations are read?
Well,
who's the first person that goes down?
Little does he know, his wife isn't there.
Right. So I think it's his girlfriend. But anyway, smashes through the window, takes her, right?
Yeah,
he goes outside. He's like, what's going on?
What's going on?
What is going on?
Dun, dun.
What ends up happening? She shows up like this. They're always doing that.
And,
he falls down.
Well, she actually didn't go like this. Since the Evil Dead can't actually open their mouth or something.
No, they can open their mouth. You've seen them bite people and...
I know, but she just didn't want to open her mouth.
So what did he do? She was scaring him, and he had no choice, he thought, but to do what to her?
He picked up a shovel, and you know shovels aren't that sharp. And he sliced his girlfriend's head off.
Just pretty much knocked it off her neck, huh?
And then here comes the asteroid.
So he buries her up, right? He's a
real madman now.
Yeah, he's real sad. He goes back in there.
Maybe it was Jason who did this.
Nah. So he goes back in the house. He's like, he hears the piano playing. He's like, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, my girlfriend. I go in, here's this necklace. And then the window boards fall off, and he runs to the boards, and he looks out the windows, and what does he see?
A thing.
What is it? Is it maybe his girlfriend? Do you remember? We just watched this movie. So he put a cross on the ground. The cross falls down, right? And then her body comes out. And what did we say? Do you remember? We're like, man, she hasn't been buried that long, right?
she's already rotting her leg off.
Right, she's got skeleton legs and all her...
If her legs are rotted off, her head is surely not rotted off.
Well, I guess he didn't bury it, so it rolls back onto her neck, right?
I know, it's freaky.
Yeah.
And while
She
it
does a little
does,
dance.
she doesn't even care that her hair is groomed.
Oh, yeah. So he wakes up, he thinks, man, that's a bad dream, and then what falls in his lap?
The head.
Right. What does it do to him?
Wait. We need to tell him the rest of the dream.
What was the rest of the dream then?
Well, the guy actually was looking out the window, and then the skeleton arms or something.
Came through.
Dance with me.
And bashed his head into the boards, right?
Give me the cake.
Different movie. So he wakes up, he's like, oh, that was a weird dream, and the head falls into his lap, and what does it do to him?
It bites him.
Oh, and he's just banging that head on bookshelves.
No, it'd be better
What?
if it bite him right here.
No, what if he had no thumb? Because later he'd have no hand and just 4 fingers, right?
I mean...
No, not really. I guess it would still be the same hand. Anyway, he's bashing the head on the ground. He's hitting it with books. He's like, what do I got to do? I got to go to the work shed, right? Puts her head in a vice.
And then he's like, chainsaw.
Yeah. It always makes me laugh. Like, Bruce Campbell's delivery on some of these lines crack me up.
Like this.
Because the head's like, even now, your darling Linda's soul, she suffers in torment. And he just goes, you're going down. And then he gets to the chainsaw. Chainsaw's gone. Where's the chainsaw?
Wait, no, it's hilarious.
What?
It actually shown like a drawing.
Yeah, the outline of, well, because they wanted you to know that there was a chainsaw there. But then what comes running in with the chainsaw?
The headless horseman.
The headless body of a girlfriend, right? Comes, ah! Manages to get it. Oh, it's gross, right? He hits it, and it comes back onto her neck stump, and sprays them all over.
Wait, no, it's left.
What?
Remember?
Well, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're going to get to that. So he chops the head up, right? And then the sun comes
I
up.
feel like they just went around the head.
Yeah, they show the shadow of it. So he chops up the head. Linda's gone for good. The Evil Dead comes crashing through doors, through the house, picks him up, right? Throws him against a tree. He splashes into a puddle. What happens to him? What happens to Ash?
He turns into a monster, which you don't know what the monster looks like. You had to watch the movie. We're not going to tell anything about it.
Oh, yeah. So he comes up. Oh, but what happens that makes it go away?
The sun hurts!
Yeah.
The monster! But the only thing that we're going to tell you about this is it looks like a zombie.
Yeah.
With a long chin.
With a long chin.
A banana chin.
A banana chin. Bruce Campbell is known for his big chin, so they really went crazy to make him even have a bigger chin when he was Evil Dead guy.
Okay.
So he looks around. He's like, oh, no, I got to get out of here. He jumps in his car. He leaves. Can he leave? Why not? Why can't he leave?
Because wait, before that happens, remember there's that shadow puppet?
Shadow puppet.
That ghost or something?
Oh, and that on the front of the house?
Join us!
And he's like, oh, looks at his car, looks back, and then he's gone. Wiping his face off. He gets to the bridge, and what's wrong with the bridge?
It's broken, and both me and Dad actually was interested about. It looks like a hand.
Yeah, like the claw, the metal girders look like a hand. So that was pretty cool. And then what? He's out there going, no. Then what goes down? He's looking at it. It's big and it's orange and it's still going down. The sun goes down, right?
Yeah.
Then what happens?
He has to get in his car quick.
he's in a car chase with an Evil Dead spirit, huh?
Maybe not an Evil Dead spirit.
What do you think? What you think it was that tree thing? Why did you tell? Well, we're getting there. So he crashes a tree stump, flies through the windshield, smashes on the ground, runs through the house. It's chasing him the whole time, right?
No, he actually bangs into a tree and then he knocks out and then he goes to the house.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Smarty Pants over here.
Yeah. So he gives the Evil Dead spirit a run around. Where does he end up hiding to hide away from him? The cellar, right? So Man, it gets...
And then they show, like, other people.
Right. So then we get Professor Nobi's daughter and her boyfriend, I guess, because they kiss. And she's like, I found the other pages of the Book of the Dead. We're going up to Dad's cabin to recite them. Like, none of these people will have any brains at all. None of these people have any brains at all. They're like, hey, these passages are to summon demons. Let's read them out loud. No, you don't do that, right? But if they didn't do that, then we wouldn't have a movie.
I know, but guess what? Can I whisper this in your...
Why are you whispering it to me? We're doing a show. Tell the people. This is not for people. This is for you. So what happens, man? He's having a problem. What happens with Ash? What makes him? Oh, he comes back in. The rocking chair's rocking, right?
I really want to give him a close-up of that book over there. Just to give him, like, the thing of
here's your visual cue. All right, the rocking chair's rocking. He's freaking out. He has a shotgun now on top of a chainsaw. He goes over to the mirror. He's like, I'm not going crazy. Everything's fine. And what happens with his reflection in the mirror?
It comes out on him.
Do you remember what it says? He says, I don't think so. We just cut up our girlfriend with a chainsaw. Does that sound fine? Right? And starts choking him, and turns out what?
He's choking himself.
Right? Taps on the mirror, tries to give it to Juke. It's okay. And then what happens right after that?
The hand.
Oh, the bite marks, huh? Infect his hand.
Wait. So if you didn't know, the girlfriend actually,
What?
We literally just talked about this.
Oh, so let's go.
Well,
so does Bruce Campbell do a good job acting like his hand is controlled by the Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Because, it was just him doing this, right? That's pretty cool. He beats himself up pretty good, huh? He's like hitting himself in the stomach and punching himself in the face, grabbing plates and smashing them on his head, right? And then finally, what is his hand? His hand knocks him out, huh? What happens?
It's like...
His whole hand is just dragging him along the ground, huh?
No, it's like...
It sees, and what does it see?
It sees a kitchen knife,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I can't move it!
Why? What happens? The hand almost gets him to the knife, and then what happens? Ash stabs his own hand into the ground, right? Grabs it. What does he grab?
He grabs the chainsaw and cuts his hand off.
Oh man, would you be able to do that? It's a pretty tough move, isn't it?
I guess it didn't really hurt that much because the veins were controlled by the Evil Dead.
That looked like it hurt when he was like, ah, and the blood was spraying in his face, right?
I know, but half of his veins were just like Evil Dead things.
Oh, right, true. So meanwhile, Annie and Ed run into Bobby Joe and I can't remember the guy's name. I don't remember if they say his name. They do. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he's putting signs on the road that says they can't go. And he's like, what do you mean? I got to get to the Nobi cabin. Why? It's none of your business. Like, nobody's nice in this movie at all.
I know, but it doesn't have bad language.
It has a couple of bad words, but nothing too bad.
But luckily, I don't repeat those words. And honest, I didn't even hear.
So he's like, so the guy's like, hey, I know a back road way. It's a path that we can take, right? And she says, how much do you want to take us? And he's like, 50, 45, $100, right? $100. She's like, if you take my bags, you got a deal. And he looks in the car and just sees the pages in like a purse. And he's like, sure. But we forgot that she has that big old trunk, huh? So they show him later, carry the big old trunk, $100. Meanwhile, Ash
to the country.
Ash puts his hand in a bucket and puts some books on the bucket, right? But then his hand escapes. What happens? Tell me a little bit about what happens on this sequence.
The hand, like...
Do you not remember?
It goes through the wall or something.
Right. It's hanging out on the wall. What's one funny thing that it does?
It does, like, tempers.
Yeah, because he's reloading the shotgun, trying to shoot it, And then what does it get itself into?
Gets himself into a mousetrap. He's like, I want this
And he
cheese.
laughs at him. Ha ha!
He's like, I want this mouse cheese.
So he shoots a couple more times. Boom! And when it looks like, oh, we got him because a little trickle of blood comes out, huh? What happens then?
And more and more and more and more and more.
And all of a sudden it was like a fire hose of blood shooting out at him, huh?
I guess that's the river of blood.
Might be. And then it all goes back into the walls, huh? And then he's like, I don't know what's going on. He's got sprayed with blood. What's happening? And he's so delirious. What does he see? It's the deer head. What does it do to him?
It laughs.
And then what starts happening after that?
The lamp laughs.
Everything starts laughing, huh? And then it's so much, he starts going crazy. He starts laughing. And then they hear a clink at the door. Everything shuts up and he goes... Who's at the front door, though? Is it an Evil Dead monster?
It might be.
But we find out it's who?
Bum, 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 bum. Today, we are going to end the video right now.
No, we're halfway through the movie.
I know.
It's the other people, right? I swear to God, we watched this 10 minutes ago, and you're like, I don't know. I don't remember any of it.
Get out of here.
So the people come in.
Do not be.
They're really mad at Ash. Why? Why are they so mad at him?
Because they just shot, the expert reader or something.
No, they shoot the expert reader. The expert reader, the woman.
Don't you say.
Annie, she gets in there. She's expecting to find her who?
The grandpa.
Her mom and dad. But all she does is look over and see what?
Chainsaw.
A bloody chainsaw, huh? So the one guy's like, let's put him in the cellar. They throw him in the cellar. All right, what are we gonna do? Hey, look, here's my father's voice on this tape recorder. And do you remember what he says? He says, I think I might have awoken some demons. Last night, my wife, Henrietta, tried to kill me. And he said, well, I had to kill her. But I couldn't dismember her, so I buried her in the root cellar, right? But Ash is down there. He's like, what? The root cellar? And then from the ground, right? He screams like a girl.
It looks like that thing from with like the worm hair and
Oh yeah.
from
It's only there for that one shot with like some worms, and then when we cut back to Henrietta's, it's just a guy in a suit, right?
Wait, guess what?
Someone's in my root cellar. Someone with a fresh soul. He's like, let me out. Did they get him out in time? And then it transformed, right? Into a funny looking monster, yeah?
And remember it.
Your favorite part, I think this was the biggest reaction of the whole movie for you, is that they open the door, they get Ash out.
Wait, yeah.
The monster goes, and grabs the guy by the face, throws the other dude against the wall.
Stop it, Google.
And then Ash goes over there, puts the door down, right? Smashes the head, and then jumps on it, and what happens? This was your favorite part.
Eyeball. Honestly, I think this was my funniest part. I went like...
So what happened, though? Tell me what happened. So he closes the door, and then what happens?
The girl in the white shirt,
Well, tell me what happened. He jumps on the door, and what happens?
the eyeball fly.
The eyeball pops out like this. I can't do it with a beard. Literally pops out, flies across the room, and where does it go?
Into someone's mouth.
Why? What was she doing?
She was standing still.
She was screaming, because of all that was going on. And then when that eyeball went into her mouth, you were like, oh! It was the fun. I wish I would have filmed the reaction. Had no idea you would get that reaction out of you with the eyeball popping out
Honestly,
of it.
that first reaction, I was like, I had to laugh in my...
Yeah, it was funny. It was a good reaction. I wish I would have had it recorded. So anyway, everybody's on board now that something bad's going on, right? Everybody's...
Except for that one girl who got eyeballed.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because the eyeball didn't do anything to her. She must have spat it out or something because she didn't turn into a monster or nothing. So anyway, out of the cellar, they lock the cellar. But meanwhile, there's the mom, right? Hi, Annie, I remember the day you were born. It was snowing, and it was weird that it was snowing. Let me out, please. And she goes to move, and Ash is like... And then starts singing, and then she's like, that thing is not my mother. And then her boyfriend's like, ah, like right next to her, right? He has like 100 teeth. Do you remember this fight?
Yeah.
Or were you like this? Can't remember it. You blocked it all out. Oh, I was so scared.
Well, he had like 1,000 teeth.
Yeah, so tell me how this thing played out. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on in this fight, huh?
Like, it went to one girl and then pinned her down to the wall and then teared her...
Took a big bite of her hair, right? Swallowed it.
And then barfed out like a weirdo.
And then the guy came up behind her and was like, stop! And then what happens? His whole head's like, right? Catches his face, throws him up. What does he hit?
The light. It's the worst place.
Ooh, it looks like it hurt, huh? Oh, falls down.
I mean, he had a hat on.
Right. No, he didn't. He didn't have no hat on.
Oh my goodness.
Just bare head on a light bulb. So Ash...
Yours is next.
Ash runs off. Annie's like, get back here and help us, you coward! But what does he do? He comes back with what?
A chainsaw?
No.
Axe?
Yes.
And when he breaks the thing, remember that black blood?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually green blood.
Oh yeah, this guy had green blood for some reason. They did a lot of that to get around.
I wonder if it's just like his jaw or something.
No, he chopped him up. There's pictures you can see online. They never did show it in the movie. But there's pictures you can see online of that guy like chopped up into pieces and stuff. A lot of the colored blood they did to get around the censorship ratings board, because if they were like, it's too much, so they kind of anticipated it and used different colored blood, so all the blood wouldn't be red, and then the ratings board would be like, you can't show this to anybody, it's too crazy. Anyway, so now what? We got a dead guy. They look at some spirit we don't see flying around the room. The door opens up. And Ash goes, we'll all go together. And the guy goes, hell no, you're the curious one, right? But the girl goes with him. They all end up in there. The dad shows up as a ghost, and he's like, you got to read those pages. That's the way you win the day. And everybody's scared. And the girl goes, Tommy? Is his name? I forget.
No, a Tommy.
No, that's not his name.
A Pootie.
No.
A dude.
What did she say? She says, you're doing something. You're holding... Do you remember that? You're holding my hand too tight. And what does he say?
That's not my hand.
He said, I'm not holding your hand. They look down. Guess what? It's your friendly, dismembered hand.
Hello, how you doing?
She goes, knocks the lantern down. Everything goes dark. They light it back up. She's gone. Where's she gone? Bobby Joe. Where's she run off to?
She's like, I'm not living here!
She just ran out of the house into the woods. Probably the worst place to go.
Even when they told her the woods is something out there.
Right. Ash was like, there's something in the woods. And it's not good. She runs out.
Nice.
So she goes out into the wood. What happens to her?
Well, the tree monster.
What did it do?
Well, it wrapped its stupid little grubby finger vines around it.
Yeah.
And then pulled her towards it, and then ate her.
We never see her again, huh?
Well, except for the end.
What, as a head on the tree? Yeah.
I bet those are his pimples.
Maybe.
I have nipples!
So they're like, okay, well, we got to do these pages, right? Got to do these pages. We got to see, this is what we do. As they're looking through the lost pages, he sees, he goes, whoa, man, it feels like someone just walked over my grave. What is that picture? And it shows a little dude holding up, it looks like a chainsaw, and she's like, this was the prophesized one that fell from the sky and defeated the Deadites in 1300 AD. And he's like, he didn't do a very good job, right? Turns out, who is that?
Me.
No, it turned out to be Ash, right? Later.
No.
So old boy's getting real nervous. Where's Bobby Joe? What does he do? He says, we're going to go find Bobby Joe. And he says, look, if she went out in the woods, she's dead. So what does he do? What are you doing? What does he do?
He grabs the shotgun and then...
He says, I'm in charge now, right?
Well...
So what does he do with the pages?
he throws them down there.
Oh, no. So they go outside. Do they find her? He starts screaming anyway, right? Baba Joe! What happens?
Well, if you have a gun, you're not in charge because everybody's stupid with a gun. They point it down at their feet.
So he's screaming.
Up on your head.
We see the Evil Dead spirit coming, and then it gets to him, and what happens?
It wraps its grubby, gross fingers around it.
No. What are you talking about? He's out there going, Bobby Joe! And then, but who's it go into? We think it's going to go into him, but who's it go into? It goes into Ash again, right? He picks him up, throws him into a tree, and he runs back into the house. Ash shows up. He's like, join us, right? He's banging into the window, trying to get in. She's running around the house. She's got the big Kandarian knife. The door starts jiggling. The door kicks in, and she stabs into it. And who is it? Who is it? Do you remember? We watched this like 10 minutes ago.
The reason why I cover my house...
Quit messing with your tooth then. Do you want to pull it out on camera? Here, we'll pull it out on camera.
No.
Come here, dude. Just do it on camera.
No.
Come on, some blood will come out. Look like the Evil Dead. Let's go. All right, so let's finish this up so we can be done.
And then we can watch.
Yeah, we'll never watch it if we don't finish this episode. All right, so she accidentally stabs who? It's not Ash the Deadite. It's who?
It's that farmer guy.
Yeah, it's the other guy, right? Whoops, he stabbed the wrong guy. He's like, oh, so here comes Ash, Demon Ash. She pulls him into there. She lays the guy down next to the cellar like a dum-dum, right? And then what happens?
The girl grabs him and then...
The mom, right? The mom Deadite grabs him in. She's grabbing onto his legs trying to help him, and then just like 800 gallons of blood shoots out. Pretty much confirming that he died. Yeah, he's dead for sure.
Like in Jaws.
Right. So she's like,
Wait.
Ash shows up, picks her up, throws her against the wall, knocks her out. He's about to go kill her. Sees his little necklace that he gave Linda at the beginning. And he's like, oh, love's going to drive it away. And the demon leaves Ash. And then what happens? Do you remember?
And then the girl tries to kill her.
Kill him, right? With the axe, right? She's like, I'm all right. And he leans again, back against the wall. Wham! The axe hits. Ah! Do you hear me? Can you hear what I'm saying? I'm all right. Remember?
Okay, let me just kill you first.
So she's like, okay. But for how long? He didn't have a good answer for that. If we're going to beat this thing, we need those pages. And he says, okay, well, we're going to go down in that cellar and carve ourselves a witch. So this is the big kind of famous part of Evil Dead 2. What do? They go in the work shed where they build.
A chainsaw arm.
You're right, the chainsaw arm.
The vineyard!
And he somehow cuts off both barrels of the shotgun with the chainsaw. Swings his chainsaw around. Remember what he says?
No.
Groovy, right? So then he go down there.
Like when he does something to the witch or something, the mother.
Oh yeah. But that's coming. So he goes down in there. He finds some pages. He goes into the back. The dead Bobby Joe's boyfriend, falls out. He's just a skeleton now.
Why don't you chop him up anyway?
I don't know. But he finds all the pages, goes back, throws them up to her. She goes over there to start reading, right?
Well, I think that's the end of Bobby Joe the farmer.
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
Imagine.
So Ash starts going back up the stairs, and who comes out underneath the stairs?
The witch.
Yeah, grabs his feet. Oh, smash. Pulls him in.
Right on his head too.
Right.
Right on his nose. His nose protected him.
Yeah, barely. Pulls him in, throws him out. He looks all beat up. His sleeve is gone now. He looks he looks more like the picture now in the book, doesn't he? So she finishes the thing, but all that does is what? It manifests, all the trees are coming alive, right? So out comes Henrietta. screaming and hollering, grabs her by the hair. Ash comes up and says, let's go. And there's a big fight. You said this fight looked like what? It looked like something straight out of a... Do you remember?
No.
A video game. You're like, this is a straight out of video game fight.
I mean...
Escape from the cabin. Because he's like punching the demon. So he's not doing great once the demon transforms into the long neck monster again.
I mean, he does good.
Yeah, he starts off pretty good until then, right?
Yeah, he like punches the monster. I mean, I wouldn't be brave enough to punch a hideous thing like that. And one thing that I said, man, that thing looks fat.
Oh yeah, it was a big old fat thing. So what distracts it?
The girl singing the song.
Right. And then he goes right through her, right? Cuts off an arm.
Baby, go to sleep.
Cuts off another arm. Cuts off a head. What does the head say to him? Do you remember?
I saw your soul.
Yeah, I'll swallow your soul. What does he say?
I'll swallow this.
With the shotgun, right? Swallow this. Big old head explosion. And then all the trees start crashing in. Smashing the walls.
That would be a good idea. If you saw a branch that was stuck in the wall, you would have gone like...
If he had done that, do you think blood would have come out?
No.
Probably. These are Evil Dead trees we're talking about.
Dad.
What?
What if bark came out?
Oh, bark?
I mean,
so the trees are beating up the house, right? And she's... This is it's so funny. And I know they did this stuff on purpose. But she's like, I only finished the first of the incantations. When she's knocking around, she's like, the ones that turn the evil into flesh. And you're like, why is she sitting here explaining this? And she's like, I gotta do the other incantation. That'll do the time vortex. And Ash is just like, well, start it now! Like yelling at her to get her started. Like, shut up, why are you explaining this? Just read the stupid passages. So she starts reading the passages.
What if there was like pig things in the house?
I'm glad there wasn't. That'd be bad.
Imagine if they were like, oink, oink, ramming into their feet.
So she starts reading it, and what happens to Annie?
The stupid hand stabbed her.
Yes, stupid hand stabs her. And we finally see the face of the Evil Dead thing flying through the house, right? It comes into the door, and it looks like a big old tree with big teeth and heads on its face, right? And a big old hand comes in and grabs it.
I thought you meant like a ghost head or something.
No. You see, like, well, that's the physical manifestation of the Evil Dead guy. Grabs Ash in a big old tree-looking hand, right? She gets stabbed. She's dying. But she manages to eke out the words.
Doggy doo-doo.
And start the time vortex, right?
Doo-doo.
So the thing... Oh, what does he do? You were expecting him to do it, but he did it, and you made you happy. He's like...
He actually trimmed the eyeball.
Yeah, he put his chainsaw in the eyeball, huh? So the time vortex starts. It sucks that guy out.
No,
and then he's like, you did it, kid, you did it. And the whole front of the house comes, or the...
No, what he should have done.
What?
He had one shotgun on one eye, one chainsaw on the other eye.
So the door flies off, and we see the vortex is at full blast. It's already sucked his car in. It's starting to suck him in. He grabs a board. It holds him on the door for a second. He's like, how do you stop it? The board breaks, and off he goes.
Well, it shows it like it's like... By the way... Did you notice something? The girl was still on the floor when the house tipped.
Well, it didn't. The house didn't tip. It was just sucking them in. So I don't know. Maybe she got stuck on some furniture. Once she died, we didn't really have to deal with her anymore.
I mean, what if she got sucked into the vortex?
And splatted next to him? I don't know.
No. And then he came first, and then he raised his hand up, and the girl fell into his hand.
Nice. So he goes into the time vortex.
That'd be a good way.
There's some visuals and stuff, and an explosion, and then we see a kind of a desert-looking background, and the car and him come crashing down at the same time, huh? And then who surrounds him?
Knights.
Whoa! What's going on?
And shining poop.
Knights in shining poop armor, huh? So at first, some guy's like, slay the beast. He's the Deadite, right? And they're about to stab him. And then this winged thing comes, right? And they all run away. What does he do?
He grabs his shotgun and shoots the thing's head off.
Right, and then they're like...
Man, not the head off. Maybe just, like, explode it.
Well, yeah, it pretty much exploded his head completely off. So then everybody's like, whoa, and then another guy comes down and puts his hand on a knight, and the knight lifts his mask up, and he goes like, "Hail he who comes from the skies to deliver us from the terrors of the Deadite." You know who that guy is? His name's Sam Raimi. He directed the movie, so he was the director of the movie. He put himself in there to be that knight, be that knight. And they're all like, "Hail, hail, hail!" And Ash is like, "Oh no!" I think he's putting it together. The guy in the book, it's me. And then the movie ends with him stuck in the past.
Well,
what did I tell you as soon as we finished watching that?
It took 7 years or 6.
It was like 5 years. When I first saw that, so that came out in 1986. Or 1987. I probably saw it in 1988 or 89. And when I finished watching it, so I was like 11 or 12, I really felt bad for the character of Ash. I was like, man, that really sucks. He fights through all that. And then just to get sucked back in time and stuck in the past.
Just to get stuck in the Sahara Desert.
Right. So in 1992, word came out that they're going to make another one. Finally.
At least he's the king.
Well, you'll see in Army of Darkness it doesn't work out that way for long.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he have to face everyone?
You'll see. It's crazy. It's even crazier than
I bet everyone turns into those zombie things.
Well, we're gonna have to find out pretty soon, huh?
And then they go like this.
Zach wanted to watch it immediately after we watched Evil Dead 2, and I was like, well, no, let's do it. Because if we didn't do an episode on it, you would probably get a bunch of the stuff confused. But we'll watch it soon. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Ready? Yeah. All right. That's it. This episode was really long, but
I thought we were going to do game time.
You want to do game time? We can do game time. Would you recommend Evil Dead 2? Would you say, hey, Dylan, watch Evil Dead 2? Yeah. I don't think his parents would let him watch Evil Dead 2. But what do you think? Good. You think it'd be worth a watch? Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't mess with the wires. Ow. Okay. So, yeah, that was something that was really kind of... The whole Evil Dead 2 thing was kind of important to me when I was a kid, right? Because that story of the first Evil Dead, like how it got made and stuff, inspired me to try my hand at that kind of thing too. Special effects and movie making and stuff like that. Okay, so Evil Dead 2, thumbs up, right? All right, so Zach wants to talk about games. Let's go, game time, go. What are you playing?
What did you say?
Game time. What are you playing?
Oh. Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite.
All right. That's it. Good night, everybody. Bye. Possibly talk about.